It's Camping World's destination recreation.
To say that Camping World has extreme buys right now would be one of the biggest understatements of the year. You know, a lot of people didn't realize that they don't just sell brand new equipment at Camping World, they have previously owned units. And on the lot behind me, you can see they've got every shape and every size that you might possibly want. Now here's the great deal. In the next 10 days, if you come to Camping World looking for a pre-owned unit, tell them the Race sent you and say, I want the Racer's discount. They're going to save you up to 50% over original costs.
Camping World Destination Recreation Sweepstakes is back and better than ever. More prizes and more chances to win. To enter and see the complete prize descriptions and the official rules, visit campingworld.com/racing.
You know, I wouldn't mind being stranded on an island in one of those.
Hey, I ask you a question.
It would be great.
Think, Camping World matched their demographic with NASCAR racing? And what about Aaron's? They match theirs perfectly, too. They're giving away stuff left and right here at the racetrack.
Going to give Mike Garvey a lucky dog.
Giving him a chance to make something out of his race.
One of
And
the
he didn't even have to have credit to get it.
One of the trucks involved in our lone caution, Justin Lofton, one of the drivers of that truck, is with Chris Devoto.
Yeah, that's right. They had talked about the oil temperature was going up, so they were hoping a caution would come out to maybe pull some tape, but you didn't want it to come out that way.
No, it's real unfortunate for everyone over on the number 7 visitpit.com Toyota Tundra. We had a really good truck. I was just kind of sitting there playing around, and I'd jump out of the pack, fall back, move back up, and you know, real proud of all the guys, all the hard work they put into it. And it's just real unfortunate that it had to end this way.
I know in our pre-race show we went off-road racing with Justin Lofton. He did not want to be off of this road, Talladega Superspeedway.
Take a look at this accident again. Once.
Watch Narain Karthikeyan. He's going to get by with just now, right in front of Justin Lofton. Justin gets caught up, but Narain just narrowly avoiding that incident.
And again, all the smoke. It's so difficult for Justin Lofton to get through there. Right on lap.
Well, Rick, when we began those pit stops, we saw the number 81 of David Starr coasting down the backstretch. Obviously, they were out of fuel. He got an assist to get into the pit area, but when he came in, it got a little bit worse. They had no fuel pressure, so they had to go underneath the hood to turn the engine over, and they finally got that thing fired up, but there was a problem on the back. One of the supports that holds the spoiler up had been broken, so they had to go to work and fix that thing. You've got to maintain a minimum of 65 degrees on that rear spoiler, and NASCAR would not let them return to the track without all of those braces. There you see the brace on the right that was loose. They got that fixed, and the Zachary Tundra is back out to the racetrack. Adam?
And still some question marks in regard to Austin Dillon and that fuel mileage situation. They were anticipating coming down pit road under green at lap 28, and they ran out of fuel under caution 3 laps earlier. Butch Hilton, crew chief for Ron Hornaday, just came down. He and Danny Stockman, the crew chief for Austin Dillon, discussing the situation. They are pretty confident now in the 3 camp that they figured it out, but that's a big time concern, because if you run out of fuel at the wrong place at Talladega, your day is done, unless, like Austin Dillon, you get a caution at the right time and you're able to come down pit road. And with there being no track position for that team, you can anticipate they will come down and top off the fuel tank here.
Get the field all in line. They're still making sure the track is clean before they send them back under the green flag. A beautiful crowd on hand here today. Monday night on Speed, join Steve Burns as he breaks down all the action right here at Talladega and get you fired up for race number 8 of the Sprint Cup Chase in Texas. It's a full hour of NASCAR race of Monday night, 7 Eastern, only on Speed. So the field still under caution here at Talladega as they're continuing to clean up the racetrack in turns 1 and 2, and they're trying to put some speed zorb down on some of the fluid that was put on the racetrack, and they're having a hard time doing it because there's a lot of banking here at this racetrack. Again, Austin Dillon scored out front. Hornaday, Bodine, Skinner, White, James Busher, Ricky Carmichael, Kenny Schrader's up in the top 10, Max Pappas, and Grant Enfinger also in your top 10 at Talladega. 30 laps complete. It's the playoffs NASCAR style. Don't miss the semifinal showdown in the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup. The Cobalt Tools 500 Sunday, November 14th at Phoenix International Raceway. For tickets starting at $25, call 408-RACE or visit phoenixraceway.com. So the field's still under caution here from Talladega, and obviously they've got to clean the racetrack before we get back underway.
And we had 9 trucks come back in the pits to top off, which right now we've completed 31 of the 94 laps, Michael. And we know the pit window is somewhere around 32, 33 laps. So I really like the strategy of those trucks that came back in to top off. Now, theoretically, they should be able to make this race on one more stop. And some of the guys that pitted on lap number 26, like the majority of the field, maybe not.
That's right. What about these trucks? They're dirty, Phil. They put down Justin Lofton busted his oil cooler, excuse me, and they had to put an extreme amount of speedies dry down. And look, those trucks' windshields have that dust and dirt all over them. We talked about vision being a little bit of a problem off turn 4. It might be a bit of a problem all the way around now.
That's a good view right there. That's our camera lens. Not even able hardly to clean that camera lens. You can see the dust on the front of the hood on Kyle Busch's Toyota.
What about these guys that laid back? They missed a bullet. They dodged a bullet by laying back. Kyle and those guys were 2 or 3 seconds behind the crash of Jeffrey Earnhardt. So early on, laying back worked out for some.
Hornaday and Bodine side by side through the trial. Bodine on the outside, Hornaday on the inside. Green flag back in the air.
We may want to make mention. Remember, Austin Dillon ran out of fuel, came in the pits early, and when we went away to commercial, said he was leading. NASCAR actually will not give him credit for leading, even though his truck was out front.
Look at that dust.
Yeah, topped back off again, and they run through the dust that was they tried to blow it off the racetrack. A couple guys running up there in that higher groove.
It'll just take a lap or two, and that will be cleaned off.
The pack, at least lead lap pack, is 23 trucks strong.
Here comes Kyle and Eric around the top.
I think there's a pack that was formed there between those 2 trucks.
Remember last fall when we finished this race, those 2 were pushing each other as well.
I talked to Richie Waters, crew chief on that winning truck for Kyle Busch last year, and the crew chief on Eric Almirola's number 51, and he said they definitely have a plan to work together with Kyle for this race.
Max Pappas jumped out in front of the 18 and 51, and now we see the 51 dropping back, or the 18 dropping back. The 51's making its way still up to the front.
Yeah, that didn't work out for Max. He thought he would get up in front of that strong run that those 2 had coming, but everybody just split Max. Looks like Skinner's going to try to make a bid for the lead.
Still out front is the 33 of Ron Hornaday. And now Hornaday goes to the high side to get in front of Skinner.
I think he recognized that the 5 of Mike Skinner had a run on him. He said, hey, I'm either going to be down here and the outside lines are going to go, or let me jump up here with him.
The outside line is going right now. Hornaday in front of Skinner. Todd Bodine running 3rd. Jason White is 4th.
How about Craig Gose right now running up in the 5th spot?
They drop back down to the bottom of the racetrack. Now Kyle Busch tucks in behind Craig Gose. You talked about it earlier, Michael. Mental games being played virtually every lap, every second of every lap. Where do you go? Who do you follow? Who do you get in front of?
Yeah, Kyle's out there racing for that Truck Series Owners Championship. You know, we've never seen Kyle lay back before, but we've also never seen him race. Whoa, 3 wide. You see that big run?
Well, that was close there. Skinner is starting to fall back a bit.
We've also never seen Kyle race for a points title in the trucks. He's just always been all about a win. Maybe we're seeing a little bit of a different Kyle Busch today because of that Owners Championship. We know how important it is to him.
I have a feeling when we get down towards the end of this race, he will be a country heard from. There's Austin Dillon making a move to get down to the inside, trying to go underneath the 9 of Max Pappas. Here's Austin's on board right here.
Oh, don't come over there, Max. Looked like Max thought about trying to grab that bottom, and Austin was there.
Try to get by the 5 of Mike Skinner. Austin already back up into the top 10. Remember, restarted this race from the tail end.
Mike Skinner was on the outside line when it was moving, and that then slowed down because Ron Hornaday jumped out in front of him, and now Skinner has dropped all the way back, and now he's side by side with the 2 of Ken Schrader.
Did you see that crazy move David Starr made? Was he hit a little bit? You think that was some buck traffic? Let's see if we can take a look at it and see. Watch him run along the back straightaway, and then just all of a sudden right there, he just dove to the outside. Looked like he did it by choice.
But it looked like the 5 of Mike Skinner threw the anchor out. Watch Mike Skinner. Watch how how slow he's going to get right there compared to the rest of the trucks.
Man,
Max
that was
Pappas
close.
was on his back bumper as well.
Max was on his back bumper, and when Starr made that move, I bet you Max said, "What'd I just do?"
What just happened?
I don't think he did anything. I think that's what David decided to do because Skinner had lost all his momentum.
Adam Alexander, what's going on with our race leader?
Well, Rick, I have a question for the two guys there with you that understand what it's like to feel the rush of Talladega. Mikey, Phil, when you were leading a race at this place, how much did you look out the rearview mirror?
You have to be able to drive your car or your truck without looking out the windshield, basically. If you're leading, it's all about blocking. Being able to go around the track, even at Daytona, it's the same way. When I won there, my car handled so good, I could just watch that rearview mirror. When you're out front, it's the most important tool you have.
You know, at most racetracks, you glance in the rearview mirror to see where the other competitors are. At this racetrack, you glance out the windshield to see where you are because you're watching the mirror the entire time, Adam.
Well, and Phil, one thing I wanted to point out is that Ron Hornaday really has been using his rearview mirror quite a bit, and the one thing he likes to see back there, Todd Bodine. He feels like these two trucks work really well together. He has talked more about Bodine in the early portion of this race than he has himself. The 33 and 30 hooked up, no doubt about it.
You know, it's really important for Ron Hornaday to be conscious of where Todd Bodine is. Right now, they're up front, and that's great. If they get back in the pack and they start working together, Ron Hornaday's spotter, Rick Corelli, needs to let him know if he clears and makes a pass, and Todd Bodine also too. They can't leave him hung out to dry.
One of the words we use so often with drivers, especially at racetracks like this, is maturity. And how about the maturity of Jason White and Craig Ghost, following behind obviously two of the best in this series, as well as one of the best, the super speedways, and Todd Bodine.
Yeah, throw Chris Fontaine in there too. Chris right now still runs up in the 6th position, right behind Kyle Busch in the 18 truck.
Again, single file line.
For those three trucks, things couldn't be going any better in the early going. We're past a third of the way into this thing, and all three of those guys up in the top 7. That's pretty impressive.
Ron Hornaday is leading the pack around Talladega.
Somebody's broke back there.
Smoke on the racetrack. A smoker back there in the back of this lead pack. Falling back, it's the 89 of Mike Harmon, it looks like.
No caution as of yet. The pack just went by the start-finish line. Yeah. We stay green.
He's going to slide off onto pit road, and so a good thing for Harmon and the field. So we're going to take a quick 60-second break from Talladega as the field's making their way down the backstretch here at the biggest racetrack on the circuit. The Mountain Dew 250 presented on Speed by Dodge. We'll return in a moment.